check 1 2. Good morning, good people of the earth and beyond. I ain't trying to be like Earthist, So if there's someone out there in Venus who's picking up the signal, I guess that would be their sign, the V. I don't know. But yeah, man. You see me? I got the coat out. See him all fuzzy faced. And I'm going for a walk. So 2 years ago when I came home, when I go for a walk, my dad would be like, "Why are you going for a walk?" But now he's like, "Did you go for your walk yet?" I'm like, "Not yet." He's like, "Well." But yeah, man, Halloween came. I was telling my kids, they're like, "What are you gonna be? What are you gonna dress up as?" And I was like, "I'm gonna be Hello Kitty." And they kept asking me, "Are you really gonna be Hello Kitty?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be Hello Kitty." So the day before, or that Friday, I go to the Halloween store we have in the area. And I'm looking in there because, anime is pretty popular. I've seen Hello Kitty stickers here and whatever. So I go in there and I'm like looking, and some staff that look like they know who Hello Kitty is, and they probably watch all the anime, and they'd be like, "Konnichiwa," and stuff like that. She's like, "Nah, we don't sell that." I was kind of annoyed. So I went home and I was just gonna get a Hello Kitty t-shirt. That would work. So I see Target, they have it, so I order it. It's like, "We could send it to you in 2 hours, or you could pick it up from the store." Like, cool. It was like the local store I go to, not way out the way. So at 8 o'clock, I'm like, all right, I'm about to go out there, and I get an email saying shirt is no longer in stock. I'm like, shit. So then I go to Google or Amazon, didn't really see anything about it. So then I'm like, I decided Cat in the Hat. Because at least I could say hello, and that's what I was doing the next day. I was like, "I thought you were going to be Hello Kitty." I'm like, "Hello, I'm a cat." I said, "Hello, Hello Kitty." Like, nah. But it was nice. They weren't expecting that. At one point, we had a little parade for our elementary kids. And the middle school or just sit on the outside cheering them on. And then some of the 7th graders, they look down, see me in a cat, like, "Mr. Bailey, you have to catwalk," which is clever. But I ain't trying to prance about in between. So I just sat there. So they made a circle around me like, "Mr. Bailey, Mr." And they're shouting it. I don't like that kind of attention. I'm kind of reserved, despite making videos on YouTube and getting up on stage with the microphone and all that. I don't like that kind of attention. So I just stood there like, "Get away from me, get away." And I waited long enough till they had to go back to the classroom. But it was cool. Yeah. So now I'm stuck with this outfit. I'm probably gonna sleep in it because it's kind of warmish. It's like a bodysuit. So I'm gonna wear like my pajamas. I kind of wish I had a missus, because then she could have her pajama suit, and then we could be pajama suiting all day. I'm not. It's morning. It's not even morning, but yeah. This morning I woke up, or actually last night. Man, I am so behind. Like for my 365 challenge, where I make a song every day, I'm about 10 days behind. My excuse, and it's a good excuse. Last week, my sisters were here visiting from England, so I didn't want to record. I mean, that's one part. Second part, I was waking up early because I wake up early so I can get to work early, so I could come home quicker, so I could take them where they needed to be. So my whole schedule is just jacked up. But still an excuse. I should have prepared for it. But anyway, I'll make it up. I can make a song in like 3 seconds. It's not an issue. I'm also doing a graduate course for teaching. I'm 3 weeks behind on that one because it's different from a regular online course. Like, it's work at your own pace, but I didn't know when it started. So it's like, I'm expecting like a 3, 2, 1, bang. But there was none of that. It was just a soft, okay, go. But they said I can, it's interesting. Like, each course has 3 credentials. That's what they call it. 3 points, if you may. And some points you can get them really quick. Some points will take 3 weeks to get. So I was talking to my advisor, and she's like, you could do this one, the third one, because that one, most likely I can have that third one done this week. And then she said you can extend it. You get a 3-week extension. I don't know if it's 3 weeks or you just get an extension. Not sure how that works. But either way, I need to get that extension. So I'm behind on that. I was supposed to do a Christmas album in August. That never happened. Behind on that. I was supposed to be saving up for my Japan trip. Behind on that. So I'm just Mr. Behind today. But I mean, a part of it is because the way my school is. I woke up this morning to grade papers. Yesterday I went to school to grade papers. And I got to make lessons. Like, that's really time consuming. And like, grading the papers, tests, is annoying because, if a student A doesn't hand it in, you need a system to keep track of what's what. I'm getting better, so on test days, you just write the names of every student and those who are absent. That way, when you're grading them, they'll just pop up. You make the students write the dates on it. That way, you know the date. And then you just do it all in one go. But I was kind of, like, I was giving the kids, the test had 2 papers. And I did a little spiel like, there's 2 papers. Make sure you do both sides. Put your name on both sides of the paper. That way it doesn't get lost. Blah, 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 blah. Tell me why I get the test back today. I'm grading it. And one whole side is blank. Now, you might say, well, maybe they didn't know the answer. Maybe. But that's the side with the part that says name, date, and the test name. Like, they just didn't see it. You know what I did? I gave them zeros for that shit. Am I a mean teacher? That's just, because what they do is they finish really quick and they're like, oh, can I go to the bathroom? Or they hop on their iPads to play dumbass games. So it's like, back in my day, we used to double check. Because, sometimes that one you didn't know, the same question is just rewritten a different way. But not these kids. But they'll learn. I'm kind of excited when I pass out the papers tomorrow. And they're like, I didn't know there was a backside to the paper. Now, if the whole class did it, then I'd have to do something about it. But it's just a few. And I also got them for spelling. It was science class. Now, I know some words like ceruleum and magnesium would be difficult to spell. But I gave them the whole periodic table. I printed it out for them. So there's, again, no excuse. I even started doing detective work. Like, some A's, they kept them open, so it looked like a U. And some U's were looking like V's. So I'm like hunting around their paper to see a consistency. But yeah, the work is keeping me busy, man. I got a show next Saturday, which I'm behind on that. I mean, I could do what I always do. It's for charity. But I wanted to do something razzle dazzle, I wanted people's eyes to pop out of their head. I think I'll be the only rapper there, but still. So yeah, and it just keeps going on. So as I was saying a long time ago, my car engine light is on. It's been on for a minute. Every week my cousin will fix something, and then I'll be driving and it's off, and then I'm getting excited and that shit just pops on like, I'm still here. How you doing? I was like, So on Friday, he put something on it, like a custom piece, and he told me to come back on Saturday, and he said, yeah, everything is clear, but you got to get inspected like now, but it's a weekend, so they're not open. So the idea is get it inspected, get my stickers. That way, when I get stopped for whatever reason, that won't be included in. I don't know what they do when they stop you with the wrong stickers. Do they like kick you out of your car? Do they put the boot on? I don't know. I know you get a fine. So that'd be one less issue that I got to deal with. At this point, I paid 2 different places. So I paid twice to have them say, yeah, we can't inspect it. So I'm hoping the last place I paid I'll still be in the thing, but it's been like 2 months or whatever. I also have to take my dad to the hospital, or his 6-month physical thingy. So I don't know how that's gonna work. I'm thinking I can go tomorrow morning, Monday, get my inspection, take my dad to the thing, and then go to work. But that means I need to go to work today, Sunday, to get everything prepared for whatever sub is there. But like, all these things I just brought up, I'm not like stressing like it's part of life, living, working, making shit happen. So I'm good. Like I'm happy to be working. I'm happy to have these challenges that I gotta overcome. Speaking of, I should have got it back in September, August when I started working, but I got kicked out of, I was on welfare. Did you know that? I was on welfare. So I came home, I wasn't working, blah, blah, blah. So I'm on welfare. Didn't like it, but yeah. So I'm on welfare, blah, blah, blah. So they told me, because I have my new job and I'm getting paid now. So they sent me a letter saying you no longer qualify. I'm like, cool, that's cool. I work now. But I still didn't get my insurance card from my company. So I start calling the company and they're just like, blah, blah, blah. So finally it came in the mail yesterday. And I'm feeling good, like got my regular insurance. Because welfare insurance is good enough. I think I was saying it before, like when my tooth was hurting, like really bad, couldn't sleep, I try to go to the dentist and they call this, like whatever the hell you call it, and they're just like, we don't deem it necessary. Like, but my, and it was hurting, but then it just stopped. So I think my DNA, my chemical, physiological makeup, but with my real insurance, they'll do it because it's real. I told my dad, like, yeah, that's a good insurance. They're the best. And if my dad's saying that, probably is. So I'm happy about that. What else? But yeah, last night I was super sleepy. I just came home and then I just fell asleep after watching Loki. Well, I finished Loki and then I was watching the Everything You Didn't Notice because you don't watch it that way. This man's taking the names of the photos and blowing them up to see that the letters were enlarged. So I watched that. I was gonna work on music, work on the test, but I just fell asleep. In fact, I fell asleep in what you see me wearing right now. I just fell asleep, like, wow. But so today I have to go to school. My sister, they want to do a video chat with dad, so I don't know when that's gonna happen. There's a bacon fest in my city. Never been to one, but 2 people told me about it. 3 people. I mean, it's kind of cold. It might get warmer. I don't know. Oh yeah. I went to the club yesterday. Not yesterday. 2 days ago. Saturday. Or Friday. Friday. And Saturday. It was crazy. I haven't been to the club since I've been home. The closest, I went to a Jamaica fest, and they were playing Jamaican music, and it was outdoor club-like, but I haven't been to a club. And technically, this wasn't a club, it's more like a bar. But it was interesting. There was a cop, like an old school cop, like stand like this with your shoulders cop, like hardened, just been on the force for 50 years looking type cop. So we walk in, he shakes our hand. Maybe that's his way of, all right, his handshake's weak, he's not gonna be an issue. So they didn't pat us down or anything. We get inside, and all the tables are reserved, and they were just doing jukebox music, which I thought was, wow, that's how they do it now. But eventually a DJ showed up and they had a DJ booth area. But again, all around was reserved seats, like with the hookah thingies on it. And so we're just sitting there, and people are coming in, sitting at the tables. And I didn't like it so much because I like a club that has a dance floor and then the bars, or I don't like seats. I don't know. I can't explain but the way it was, I just don't like it. I didn't like it. Whatever, we're there and people are coming in. I found that I like the bodysuits, like cat suits. I don't know what you call them, but it's a one piece. Those are interesting. A lot of girls had that. And my friend was telling me that women don't dance. Like, I'm 42, going on 43. But back in my day, you know, when Jamaican songs came on, and then people were dancing, and you get behind them and you start dancing, but they don't do that anymore. Like, girls just be dancing on girls, sticking their tongues out and doing all that. So that was interesting, I guess. Whatever, everyone's happy. At one point, I was telling my friend, I want to hear the song, because I heard it one day on the radio, and I wanted to see how people respond to it. The Pound Town, My Coochie Pink and My Booty Hole Brown. I just wanted to see people dancing to that, because such a, like, when I heard it, like, WAP, that wasn't so bad. That's whatever. Because at least, I don't know why. Cardi B, I guess, because I'm familiar with Cardi B. But this one, I never heard the singer, and it was just so, like, but I don't hate the song, because it's factual. Like, it's, leaves are brown, trees are green. You can't hate facts, right? But it's just, if that's the bar, and that's what it started with, people coming up, or people who are like super lyrical, spiritual, they're gonna have to bring it down if they want to get on the radio. It's a floodgate of. But they didn't play the song, and the DJ, I don't know if it was his first night, if he was learning, if he was testing out new things, if the other DJ was sick. But at one point, he played a song. I forget what song it was. I want to say it's, let me hold you, come caress my body. You got me going, babe, turn me up. Kevin Little. And that song came on, and there was this lady all the way down there. She came to the dance floor. And even then, I started doing my two-step, like, then the DJ went from that song to Shaggy. They're not even the same beat. He didn't match the beat. He didn't match the feeling. At one point, he played Percolator. It's time for the percolator. And then you know how people start getting, And then he cuts it before people can start getting all crazy, and he goes to like some dumb shit. It was weird. So my friend was saying, you know, why don't we go down to this other spot? Well, he gave me a choice. Like, we could stay here, or we can go to the other spot. And I'm thinking after 12 o'clock, the other spot should be popping. We go to the other spot, and it was like, the place we came from was all like brown folks, Spanish and black people, basically. And then 3 white people came in. But that was a demographic. We go to the other spot, it's all white people. We were the only 3 black people. Well, him, myself, and then this other random guy. And they were playing like, hey now, well, they weren't playing that, but it was a different vibe of music. There wasn't even a DJ. It was just like a maybe top 10 from ZZ Top. So we were there talking, and then we left. But yeah, man. Because I was asking him, like, where do people go? Because back in the day, there was all types of spots that we would go to. That's how I met him. I went to school with him, but when I came back from Japan and I was like fully club, because I didn't go to the clubs before I went to Japan. Then in Japan, I started going to Roppongi and just doing my thing, and then I came back and then I started going to clubs by myself. And one day I was just doing my thing and I looked over and I saw him, and he's like, man, what are you doing? I'm like, what are you doing? Because he came by himself too. And then we started to be going to the clubs. And that was like, what, 15 years ago? Or before Japan. I went to school for Japan, came back for a year, and then I went back. So yeah, ever since. But it was a nice night. But I don't know how it works anymore, because back then there's a line from bartender or Akon's like, something took the keys and bang bang boogie, gonna see you tomorrow, I like the bird. So only once this happened, I'm like, can I get your keys? And then I went back to his car to bang bang boogie. But I don't see how that happens now, because the way everyone is kind of dancing in their tight knit circles of, I mean, at one point I saw a girl. So there was one group of girls in their bodysuits doing their thing, and then this other group doing their thing. So the girl came over and she like holding her t-shirt. I've seen it before. I guess it means like, go on, do your thing. But the girl, she's like, don't touch me. So I'm watching. She's like, don't touch me. He's like, I'm just joking. She's like, don't touch me. You don't know me like that. Like, what? That was weird. So it's like, nobody wants to. But yeah, so it was a good night. But I don't know, man. Like today in my city, we got a thing called Bacon Fest. Never been to it, but since I've been here, I've seen that downtown in my city has more of these kind of Bacon Fest. Back in the day, it used to be Crackhead Fest. Not that it was like overwhelmingly crackheaded-ish, but it was kind of don't go downtown after 2 a.m. or you see some shit. But now it's like super gentrified. Good for the community, good for the economy, I guess. But yeah. What else? Anything else of interest happening in the world of Matthew? As for teaching, I think I mean, you got to tweak it every day or every week. But I'm coming up with the perfect discipline outside of calling parents detentions in school, because we don't have those. So inside the classroom, what can you do to keep your students in line? So I've been trying different things, but I think I hit upon something that has a good efficiency rate, ER. So kids do something, I say don't do that, they keep doing it, they get a couple of warnings, whatever, and then I was trying different ways. Like I would print out a paper and they would have to write this, and then it would have a little tear off thing, and they'd have to get back to me. It was too cumbersome, and it does A4 when you print. I didn't know how to. I still don't know how, but to print from edge to edge, so it's just like the lines in the middle. I tried to copy like a line paper, but again, the lines were too light and so many things. But so I went to at one point I had them copy the Bible, but that didn't work because one, I don't want to use the Bible as a punishment. Two, I don't want them walking around with Bibles because I would have them, got to walk around and copy it. Three, it defeats the purpose because it's just mindless writing. They're not like learning anything. But the system I came up with is just good old-fashioned notebook paper, and they just got to write whatever it is. So it could be specific. It's like the, what do you call it? SMART. Specific, measurable. I don't know what the A is. I forgot. R, reliable. T, timely. I don't know, something like that. So a SMART system. So little Johnny can't sit in the seat. He keeps standing up. So his paper will say, "I will sit in my seat." And you got to write it. A typical paper's got 26 lines on each page. So 52 times. "I will sit." And they write fast. So it's kind of built in. If you wrote at your own time, it'd take longer. Because I give it to them at recess. Recess is about 15, 20 minutes. So they're trying to beat the clock. By the time they finish, like, "I'm done. Can I have recess?" "Sure. We're leaving in 30 seconds. So then I'm in class and I saw Johnny. It's not his real name. But I saw Johnny and he was about to like start jumping up, and he got out of his seat. He looked over and saw me, and then he sat his little butt back down. He's like, "I don't want to write." And it's great because maybe he does figure out the writing thing, or he doesn't want to write about standing. But let's say the next day he's shouting. Oh, here you go. And then I had one, Susie. Susie was standing out of her seat, shouting all the time. And when I would give them class time to do the classwork, so I will use my time wisely. So she got 3 papers. So I believe Susie, that's not her real name either, will, now the part that was hard was keeping track. Because if you give the kids the paper and they forget, I can't remember, but Google Classroom, that's what we use. I put the thing inside there, and then they got to take a picture to turn it in. That way I could always, I didn't get the paper yet. They got handed it in, but you didn't turn it in. Go take a picture. Because that happened last week. Like, "Oh, it's in my classroom." The next day I seen them, "I took it home." And then it's a weekend. I don't got time to be following people around. But this system, ironclad. So yeah, man, small steps. So as I mentioned before, I'm no longer on welfare. And welfare was a government assistance. That was paying for my therapist session. So when I got a letter saying I'm no longer qualifying, I was running around calling, and finally I was like, I got the right number, and like, "Yeah, you no longer qualify for therapy or mental things, whatever." So then I started to call my school, like, "Yo, I should already have insurance. What's going on?" And they're like, "We'll send it to you, blah, blah, blah." So I go to my therapist session, and she's like, "Before we start, I got to tell you, you no longer qualify." Now, I already knew this. I knew it from last week. I wanted to come with the card because I figured I would be able to print off one. So she's like, "So we'll go pro bono until we could figure out your situation." And I'm just like, that's why she's my therapist. Maybe all therapists would be like that. I don't know. But I'm like, "Yeah, I know." Here's the number. Boom. I made sure they gave me the company, whatever number it is. But yeah, our therapy session was, what was it about? Oh, it was a whole thing about, I can't understand. That was the theme. I just can't understand. How comes I but the people around me can't. And I kept listing these things. So, for example, at my job, it's a Catholic school. We have mass every Wednesday, and it's in the name of the Father. At a regular school, maybe since there's no church or God in it, people might start to act a little shady and shit because, it is what that is. But you would think at a Catholic school, everyone's just like, oh, I might feel this way, but in the name of the... So there's a teacher there who her situation, she was teaching elementary kids, like the little ones, little babies. And then a 4th grade teacher quit. So she was asked to take the 4th grade position. And she was reluctant because she doesn't know anything about 4th grade. And you hear me talk, I don't know shit about 6th, 7th, and 8th science. But I'm learning as I go. And working on the weekends and doing all this shit. It's a lot of work. But I live alone. Well, I live with my dad, but my dad's good-ish. But she's a mom with 4 kids who do sports. Like, she's more busier than I. So when we talk, she'll be like, I'm stressed. I don't know what's going on. She got some kids that are annoying. And I'm in another building, so I can't help her. But I'm like, anytime, just hit me up. But the people in her side, so the 3rd grade, 5th grade, 2nd grade, 1st grade. Last week I went to a, what do you call those things? I don't know. When at the end of the month, everyone goes out to drink. What do you call those? Like a company, I don't know. So at the end of the month, we all went out to drink. I drank cranberry juice. And first we were talking about some of my problem children. I'm like, yeah. But then they switched to this 4th grade teacher, and they just went in for like 45 minutes. Just, I don't like her, and she did this, and who does she think? And they're just going in, and I'm just thinking, aren't we a Catholic school? Like, is that the way of the Saint Mary and Saint this? And so they just keep going on and on and on and on, and I'm just, because what's the point? What points? I mean, it could be like, oh wow, Matthew is such a honorable guy. He's standing up for the person who's not here to defend themselves. That's not gonna happen. They're just like, fuck Matthew and fuck you too, or fuck her too. But they were really mean, like really. They just. At one point, one of the teachers looked at me and they said, because the teacher said to one lady, she said, you disrespected me for XYZ. And she's like, I disrespected her? I didn't disrespect her. So she's going on and on and on. So she looks at me like, Matthew, have I ever disrespected you? So then I'm thinking, all of our interactions. And then it came down to, was the spirit of which you were saying meant to be disrespectful, A, and B, if circumstances were different, can it be perceived as disrespectful? I'm going on some Supreme Court justice type definition of disrespectful. So I'm trying to think of all our interactions. We don't have so many, but we had enough. Let me get to where I gotta get. But I was thinking 5 seconds. She's like, you're starting to scare me. I'm getting worried. And I'm like, what? But let me think. And at this point, all the other women are looking at us now. Because she's looking at me and like, it should have been I'm not disrespectful. And I'm like, no, you're not. And she's like, see? But what's really cut and dry like that? So, so she's like, I'm gonna let you think about that. Now, this is the first time we talked under, alcohol's flowing. So people are different. But, again, she asked me a question and then she's like, oh, he's gonna take 10 years to answer. Well, maybe I'll take 10 years, but you're getting a That's what I mean. I'm not one to like, you're misunderstanding. People do that, hear what they want to hear, but yeah, I felt what I wanted to say to her is she's under a lot of stress. So I was gonna say, if I was under a lot of stress and I come to work and someone is trying to help me, but it's not helping me and it's not the help I needed, I might feel that they're being disrespectful to me. And I wanted to say that's props for her telling you that what you said disrespected, because a lot of people hold that shit in and you're just like, what did I do? But she told you. So I don't tell people they disrespect me. Just hold it in. So I commend her for setting her boundaries. My therapist is always, go to set your boundaries. But that's what happened. She set a boundary and now all the women hate her. How dare she tell me? So how does that work? I didn't set boundaries. I just answered in a Matthew type way, which you may say you're going around the bush. I mean, because later, after everyone left, we kind of had a longer conversation. And I was just trying to allude that, the way the school's set up, there's so many fractions, so many different groups. It's like, I didn't use this reference, but it's like The Walking Dead. You have Waterfront, Hilltop, the other one. So everyone is divided. They have their own things. But yeah, so I was talking about that. Then I went into, like, if I tell my dad, today I'm doing I might do a couple hours at work on the weekend. He's like, why are you doing work on the weekends? You're supposed to be off. Are they paying you overtime? I'm like, there is no overtime. I'm working because I want to get this shit done. I'm working because I feel so great when I come in on a Monday and everything is nice and clean and printed. Because I hate when I come in on a Monday. Basically, by Thursday, everything I printed is... But come in and I got to run around and print up this. And just when you need that shit printed, that's when the printer goes, error, ink out of this, or there's no paper. And I got to run all the way to the other side across the street. So I just like to have all that shit done, come in fresh. And then here's something. I went to a teacher training a couple weeks ago. And they said, when your students come in, you should greet all of them. High five. I ain't high fiving them. But that should be your first point of interaction. It should be a good one, positive. So you don't come in and yell at them like, tuck in your shirt and da-da-da-da. You just greet them with a good morning, how are you, blah, blah, blah. So I did that I tried it the next day when I came there. And it's great because now they come in and my seat, my chair, desk is here, and I can see them pass, and they'll stop, and they'll be like, good morning, Mr. Bailey. And I'm like, good morning. Or I'll shout, good morning, Tom. So it just sets the mood. Whatever happened yesterday, although I'm harboring. So my system, everything kind of works out. So I write down, all right, tomorrow, because after recess, because recess is the point of contention, there's nothing, class is class, but recess. So I write on a piece of paper, I will not shout during whatever. Then tomorrow, good morning, whatever. And all day's fine. And then when recess comes, I hand them the paper. And they go, what's this for? I say, yesterday you were shouting. And they, they're young, 11-year-olds, but they get it. There's no argument. It's, you did the time, or you did the crime, you did the crime, this is your time. And they get to the corner, they start writing. But yeah, so talking to my dad, all this means nothing. And I'm like talking to my therapist, like, how is it he can't understand that I'm working? But it's a different kind of work. But it doesn't matter. I would say the Kardashians, they work. Their work doesn't really, not for me. I don't go around quoting, watching, laughing. I could probably point out 2 or 3 of them. But after that, don't really care. But they're working, or sports people. Everyone's working. But to say it's not a job because XYZ, That makes no sense to me. And then I went on to, I was doing a bunch of them. And she's like, well, you just have a different perspective. Like, I know. And it's infuriating to have a different perspective. And I try to give an example, but then she's like missing my point. Again, different perspective. No, I don't really, it is how it is, and it's always been that way. I gave her this one. My friends started drinking when they were 15, 16, maybe earlier. I don't remember. And I remember being in the room, we're in the basement, everyone's drinking, and I'm just sitting there. Once everyone's drunk and they start laughing about dumb shit, I'm just there, doing nothing. It'd be one thing if there was like 18 girls and 6 guys, because at least somehow I would find a girl and do whatever I was going to do. But it usually was one guy with his girlfriend, her friend, and then 8 boys. And then, you know, drinking, lower inhibitions, so they're all doing that. And I'm just sitting there by myself. Not fun. Then the next morning, everyone's drunk, hungover, and crying, and I'm fine. I slept. Not fun. And then next week, everyone forgot about how they said they're never going to drink again. I remember. Not fun. So I always had that feeling. I always read books. One time I was reading books, Stephen King books. For whatever reason, I went to the library and I stumbled upon Stephen King books. Like I was reading, not it, but Needful Things. I mean, most Stephen King books are all big like that. So I'm reading the books, and my friend, because I would read them fast. I would read them while I'm walking. And he's like, you're not reading those books. Like, why would I lie? I'm like, pick a page, pick any page. And like, boop, boop. Like, whoa, and he said, wow. It got to the point where I was reading so fast, I started to read the books backwards. Just for the hell of it. It's interesting. But at one point, my friend, he started to read a book. So I have a small influence, but negative things, not negative, but drinking, smoking, etc., those are easier to influence friends. Reading books, etc., not so much. But so you know, so that was growing up. Then I go to Japan. Now every time I come back, I'm like, oh my gosh, you're from Japan. So I've always been that kind of guy. When I was in Japan, I was doing my master's. Oh my gosh, you're doing a master's in Japan. But so the feeling's always been there, and it's just one day I would love to be walking like this, and I see some female, but I guess it could be a guy, whatever. Male friends are cool too. So I see a person and they're doing the same thing as me. I know it because they're like holding their phone, they're doing all this. I'm like, are they making a video? And then we get close enough and I hear their voice drop lower as they just like, oh. I turn around, they turn around, and it's like, are you making a video? And then eventually we meet somewhere and we show each other the videos, and it's like, wow. And they're like, I never met anybody who makes random videos about random stuff. And then we become good friends. If a female, we get married, have 3 kids, 3.5 kids, and a picket white fence. And if it's a guy, then we become the dynamic duo making videos and become a Fortune 300 company of this. But I again, frustrated. Where am I supposed to find this type of person? But it is what it is. I don't. A lot of things I stumbled upon. I wasn't looking for them. Most of my girlfriends, it wasn't like, I'm like, today I'm gonna find a girlfriend. Even when I used to go to the club a lot, I remember it would be payday. I get my hair braided, get a shape up, buy a new outfit. So I'm going to the club with the intention of finding someone, and nothing would happen. Just didn't work. And then other days I'm just bumming about and I find something. So it's like, you never know. But so I want to go to the Bacon Fest because it's so weird. I'm not a big bacon eater, but it'll be people who wouldn't necessarily be in my circle Or maybe, yeah. And just so I spent most of my my conversation with my therapist talking about that feeling. And I don't think she can answer any of these questions because I don't think she can, but it's good to talk to her or somebody who could kind of, 'cause I guess her strong point, I don't know, could be a coach, could be your religious person, could be the person who gives you crystals. There's people out there for everyone, but what I like about her is she's not trying to change. I mean, she's not going to get very far, but she's not there to like, she's there to understand and hear me out. And we go from there. Now, there's some edges. Like, I think as a female, as a woman, she believes in like love at first sight and all that stuff. So when I start going down my rabbit holes of, well, we can engineer perfect relationships. You see, if you make an analytic chart, and it's like, oh, that's just not natural. Well, maybe not, but I think it could work because, and I'll give her a point, like an example. When you go for a job interview, there's a chart. Like, they ain't hiring you off of feeling alone. It's, okay, you got your degrees, you have your work experience, you seem check, check, check. It might even be numerical. Well, this client, or this not client, not customer, applicant, he has an 87% grade. This one has 37. Or in sports, like everything else, there's some kind of metric. But so when I start to drive down that path and she starts to say, I just kind of back up and go somewhere else, because I'm not there to change her mind about that. If she doesn't believe it, she doesn't believe it. And you know, an hour goes by quick, because you see how my stories be. I'm just all over the place. And I guess another point for her is that she could follow the story. So if I'm like, and then I pop down another level to give an example of that, and then I pop down another level to give an example of that, but they're all tied to the top part. She's able to stay on point. So, but yeah, but I do think everyone needs someone to talk to, because otherwise you'll go crazy. I mean, you could talk to your parents. Oh, you could talk to your pets, but your pets don't talk back. You know? That's my little PSA right there. My AI. So I have AI. I paid for the ChatGPT, the premium version. I don't even know the difference, but I just paid for it. I think it's faster. But it's interesting. I just throw, like, one night I was asleep or I was in bed and I'm like, hey, hey. I mean, you're not supposed to personify the conversations, but I'm just like, hey, or good evening. How comes how comes you are, like, if you ask AI to do anything, like bad things or just stupid stuff, it'll say, can't compute, don't understand, unable to. And morning. So then that was interesting. And then so I'm asking these questions, and then we just spent, it is weird because I'm asking real questions and it is like responding back in it's a Spocky kind of way. Well, I am not programmed, but kind of scary. Because, actually, let me go back. So I just passed two young people. They must be high school. And they said good morning. That was really like kids today. But anyway, where am I? So every month I have a meetup group, but I haven't done anything in it for the past 4 months. starting 4 months ago, I was like, well, I need to cut some expenses. And since I'm not school starting, I won't have time to run anything. So I said, I would like to cancel. And then someone popped up in the little chat and it said, hi, would you be interested in having a free month? I said, oh, thanks. Because maybe I could try it. And then the next month, I didn't use it. So I tried to cancel because they're going to hit you with that $29.99. So I cancel. And it said, would you be interested in having a free month? So this month, somehow the connection, whatever. So I kept doing it and I kept getting that response. I always thought, the first time I thought it was a real person. Second time, it's an AI. Because I was like, thank you. And like, no problem. Blah, blah, blah. So AI is coming. So I think we need to, whether you like it or not, figure out how you could use it. Don't be one of those people who just being weird about it. Like I used AI to do this. I'm trying to figure out ways to use it in my class. But we're doing the periodic chart. And I said, AI, can you break all these down phonetically? Because I can't say those things. So it's like, because the kids, one of my goals, I don't know if it's gonna, I think they could, but I want the kids to know all 100 and whatever, memorize it. In the same way, you remember the song for the states? Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, California, Colorado, Connecticut, da-da-da. Like, I know that part. I memorized it because it was a song. Indiana. But a lot of these songs are just like that, corny. I mean, not corny, but just very the sound of music-y. They need, who's my friend telling me? They need that song. Alabama. But the issue is, why would, I think that's Sexy Red. Why would Sexy Red, I don't even know if she even knows all the states, but why would she? Like, what would it be in it for her? Is she gonna be at the strip club? Alabama. And then the other songs, they do it, but again, it's like the swinging like a helicopter, try to turn a new way. So they're shouting out different places, but it's not gonna be helpful. Now, we are close enough. I can stick my foot into this, but at some point it won't even matter because AI is at the point now where you can use an artist's voice with or without their permission to like read the script that you write. So you can have Sexy Red singing the state song. So that's just around the corner. Maybe next month, maybe next week. So it's not whatever, but my idea is because my students are with me, that's the reason they're going to want to hear me over Sexy Red or Icy Spice, Spicy Ice. But like, so AI can help with all that. I mean, I could still make my beats and I could make the rhymes and all that, but just, so yeah, that's wow, we're at 53 minutes. Time be flying. And you be walking and talking. But I did make one last week and I started it with that, but I forgot. But I just wanted to know, like, you know, I maybe I should make a link or something. I don't know. But a lot of people have been following me for a while. And, you know, you get your updates on what I'm doing. And I just be doing what I be doing. But I would love to know what you guys be doing. Because, like, I was on LinkedIn the other day and I saw one guy that, well, we talked a little bit. And I saw that he was in, like, IT or something. Graduated. And it was really cool. I don't know you. I mean, some of you I have met and all that, but just to know that you guys are doing good and got kids, or you you're in school or you made it to Japan. I mean, someone emailed me the other day. I got to get back to them. They said, yo, I'm going to Japan next week. I've always wanted to go, and can you help me out with the itinerary and all that? One of the reasons I'm always slow about that is Japan is just go. Nothing bad, unless you're out there to look for bad stuff, is going to happen. You get off at the airport and you get into the city, especially now, things are in English. You can't really go wrong. Just Google what's there to do in this area and boom, you're going to have a whole bunch of things to do. So you don't really need a guide. Although it would be a lucrative business. But I got to get back. But yeah. So I just want to know what you guys are doing because it's cool. It's like, put a smile on your face. Like, yeah. I was watching you since and now I'm I mean, there was one guy. I remember. Let me see here. I remember talking to him. I forget or whatever. There's a couple. So there was one guy. His aunt hit me up. Said, "Hey, my nephew does music and he da. Can you reach out to him?" So she linked us together, and then we were talking a little bit, and then just stopped talking. And then I saw he was in Japan rapping, whatever. Maybe I said something, maybe he said something, I don't really remember. And then eventually we meet up, right? We meet up and we're at this one spot and he said something like, well, the guy, it was a studio. So the guy's like, you want to get in the booth? I should have, because I never went back there and then I moved back to the States. And I could have, did something in the booth and had that Jay-Z moment, like, oh my gosh, he did this in the booth, one take, da-da-da. But I didn't. But he's like, can you really freestyle? I said, what do you mean, can I really freestyle? Like, can you freestyle? And I was like, da-da-da-da-da, and then he da-da-da-da, and then I da-da-da-da-da, and then he da-da-da-da-da, and then I da-da-da, and he's like, wow, you're the real deal. I'm like, why would I lie? Like, things that's something someone's gonna call you out on one day. Do it. Usually if you call me out, it'll be something. Over there's a basketball hoop. Some girls say that'd be cute. There's be some stairways that's probably gonna lead to the roof. I see some slow children that play. You see me all day. I don't play. When I knock them down, it'd be like, hey. But back in my heyday, used to be a payday. Now I slay they being whoever they want, because you know how they change names daily. Like, I'm not even trying. I'm just rambling off shit. And they go, oh. But it was nice. So I met him. And then there was another guy. We kind of talked. And then, well, actually, I went to a show, and I seen a black guy up there doing like beat live thingy before I even knew what that was. And I was like, wow, there's a black guy up there. I want to be up there. Then he gets off the stage and then he's standing behind me and he's just like, yo, are you rhyming? I'm like, yeah. He's like, yo, I used to watch you all the time going into it. And it's like, kind of, well, if you make beats and you used to watch me, how come you didn't reach out to me? How come you didn't give me a... So then a couple of months later, I was hosting an event with some other guys, beat battles, and someone was like, you got to check out this guy. So I reached out to him and I was like, yo, we do beat battles, you interested? Like, sure. And he came through, he won hands down. But he didn't talk after that. But it's just that kind of connect. I'm weird about shit. I mean, we'll talk, but I'm not the, hey, what you doing kind of guy. Because my assumption is you're doing something. And if you weren't doing, or if you want to do something with me, you reach out to me. If you don't want to do anything with me, you don't reach out to me. And that could go on for an infinite. I mean, there's people in my hood, my city. I've been home for 2.5 years now. I haven't seen them, heard from them. They don't even like my videos on, I mean, I have 2 Instagrams, but when I drop a hot freestyle or something, I post it on the other one. They don't even like it anymore. So it's like, okay, well, it is what it is. There's no hate or animosity. Like, if they ever reach out, then sure, why not? Let's meet, talk, chat. But that's life, you know? I'm 43 or 42. I don't even know anymore. I'm 40 something, 42 and a half. So just keep it moving. But yeah, I say all that to say, I want to know what you guys are up to. And, you know, it's just cool that everyone's connected. Thinly, or, you know, but we're all connected somehow. I mean, one of my friend came over to Japan and he's like, yeah, do you know rhyming? He's like, I watch his videos. Like, yeah, I know rhyming. That's my boy. And then we all met up. Like, yeah, he was talking about you, which is weird because my friends, wherever I be, they don't watch me like that. I'm just whoever. But when other people are like, oh man, he's so funny, people don't think I'm funny. I mean, some do, but most don't. They don't see you in the same light as other people, which, you know, larger than life thing going on. But I'm gonna end on this one. But so yesterday in school, I was passing out papers, and then I dropped the paper. So paper drops, and then I go, and I'm thinking, wow, my reflexes are on point. But I didn't make a big deal about it. I just stopped the paper from falling. If it fell, I pick it up. So one student, he saw the whole thing, and he's just like, yo, how'd you do that? And I was like, well, I do my homework. Doing homework makes your reflexes fast. And then he's just like, oh my God, did you? And he's like, I did I don't know, so he's going on and he's trying to explain it to the other. The paper fell and he just did it so fast. And the kid's like, whatever, it's just paper. But it was just kind of just a nonchalant, like, so it's kind of like that. But anyway, as always, thank you guys for watching. Hope you're safe. Be warm. Make sure you set your clocks back if you're in one of those places there. You got to do that. And peace.